My name is Faith, and I have some stories to tell. I'm a Boxer Bulldog mix. My mom and dad met me while I was being cared for at the Best Friends Animal Society in Utah and decided they wanted to adopt me. Now, I live in Muncie, Indiana, with Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary founders Pamela and Mike. In fact, I'm the ambassador for Grateful Rescue. It's a pretty sweet life. Sometimes I help my dad at the office, while other times I just demand attention from my mom. Tonight, we want you to gather around and listen to fun, interesting stories. We call it Faith's Book Nook. Each week, we pick a local celebrity or special person in the community to read a children's book that has an animal theme. We live stream it here each week. To be honest, I'm not sure what a live stream means. Anyways, make sure you're in your comfy chair because we're about to listen to a great story together at Faith's Book Nook.
And good evening. Welcome to another Faith Book Nook. I'm Jason Heath with Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary, along with Pamela Tarhune, Shelly Fisher, Patty Spittler. Patty, we have a special show tonight, don't we?
Oh, well, wait a minute. We always have a special show. This is an extra special show. We got a lot to do, and I love that we have so many things to cover. That's so much fun. So, Shelly, hang on just a second with Bose there. What a sweet little doggy. Pamela, tell us what's going on with Grateful and what you are and what you do. A little condensed version, and then we'll get to Shelly.
Okay, so a condensed version. We are on the verge of opening one of the largest sanctuaries in the United States. We are building on 38 acres, and we will be housing over 1,000 animals at full fruition. So we're very excited about that.
And you've got your address now too, right?
Yeah, not quite yet, but we're closer. I can see the property from my living room, so I've got an idea of what it'll be. But every day is closer. Every phone call's closer. So we're very excited. Something I wanted to mention very quickly is we had a very special adoption this week.
I saw that. Isn't that? Look at that connection. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
This is River. River came to us, and he was very tore up with separation anxiety. And when he found his boy, he instantly calmed down. Now this picture here, you see, the boy needed him as badly as River needed him, because the young man with the ball, Dakota, passed away a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
And the little brother, they were in the midst of looking for a dog at that time. And the little brother, his mother surprised him and brought him here and introduced him to River. And River and he hit it off immediately. They lie together. River was frantic here. He just, he beat me up daily because he's just so frantic with the anxiety. And since he met Heath, the young man's name is Heath. Since he met Heath, he's like a different dog. And
that's wonderful. I saw the post.
So
it's great.
There's therapy going both ways. I mean, they both needed each other. So that's what dreams are made of at Grateful Rescue.
That's what I was just going to say. I think all of our dogs are therapy dogs. I know they are for me.
They are.
But Shelly Fisher is with us, and she is the animal therapy manager at Eskenazi Hospital for pet therapy dogs that come into the hospital. And with all that we're going through with the pandemic, boy, this has really hit you too, hasn't it, Shelly?
Right. Well, we can't be in the hospital right now. I have one saving grace. So we have Charlie, there's Hero. He found his duck.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
We've got two dogs there. So the dogs are not, their handlers are not allowed in. Is that correct?
Right, Shelly? Correct. We have an outside area that we can utilize, and so we are able to do that, but we're not allowed inside the hospital at this time.
Okay.
It's a challenge for us, but we have been able to do some videos and just have some good times. Like we made some large signs to put around the hospital with some really positive messages with the dog's pictures on them. Just trying to, just trying to, there we go. Just
I
trying
love
to
this.
raise morale and bring a smile to people.
The squeaking in the background. Let's take a look here. We have some pictures, Shelly, that we're looking at right now. These are some Eskenazi therapy dogs, and some of those that have made appearances in the hospital, and of course, looking forward to doing it again. I've done some stories over there, and the staff and the patients are just so excited when the dogs come in. I didn't see anybody say they didn't want to see it. I mean, even the staff comes over and wants to hug them. So it helps everybody. And I know that's for our mental and physical well-being. I mean, the dogs help us. So we'll get through this and get the dogs back in the hospital. So I think we have a musical slideshow now. Let's take a look at Eskenazi therapy dogs. Wonderful, wonderful.
I really miss them. Like, I really miss them. Looking at all of them, I really miss all of those dogs.
All sizes, all shapes, all breeds. And Jason says here, he says, be brief, because I know how we get going here. A therapy dog, what is it for someone tuning in? A therapy dog is not a service dog. A service dog takes care of its handler. It's not an emotional support dog, because emotional support dog is for one person. Therapy dogs love everybody, right, Shelly?
Exactly. You're right. They're not a service dog. They're not an emotional support dog. They're a therapy dog. And therapy dogs can be included in many different ways, including physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and just, visiting too. The mere presence of the dog in a session means a lot to a lot of patients. So they do a lot. And even staff, I think that's one thing that we forget, how they are able to touch the staff members, and the staff members can then carry that on because they're able to provide that mind shift for so many people. Just
is Bose is your dog? Is she a therapy dog?
She is not a therapy dog. She's my therapy, but she's not a therapy dog. She's just her health doesn't allow her to do that right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they all have different personalities. My Louie, my first Bernese Mountain Dog, was a therapy dog, but Stewie's not. It's not going to be in his future because
They are who they
he
are.
loves people that he knows, but he doesn't love everybody. And that's
Right.
Pamela. Would you chime in a little bit on that? Don't you agree that therapy dogs love everybody?
Yes, yes, they do. In fact, I have the most adorable story. We have two sheepdogs that visit the nursing homes, and as we're approaching people, we ask them if we may approach. And so there's this old man, and I think his name was Joe. And Joe says, "No, I hate everything. I do not want those dogs around me." And my sheepdog went ahead and laid his head on the guy's lap, and that man had not smiled in years. And all of a sudden, he stared at him and broke out into laughter. And he said, "Well, look at him. He's got his head on my knee." And that man laughed and smiled. And the lady said, "We have never seen him smile." And then it gets better. So a little bit later, we're walking down the hallways where they'll wheel out of their rooms to greet the dogs. And I heard the nurses tell the residents that we were coming. And here comes Joe, like wheeling out to meet the dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I remember when I was at Eskenazi, and this was with, I think it was with Elvira, one of the little ones. And we went into a patient's room. She was non-communicative, didn't speak, wasn't looking at anybody. Put the little dog up by her, and all of a sudden, she came to life, and she started petting the dog, and she smiled. And what's your other dog's name there, Shelly?
This is Hero, who is obsessed with his duck.
So when you hear squeak, squeak,
I'm sorry.
It's the duck.
We want to make sure we get this in. We're just so chatty. We want to get the book reading. Can you set this up a little bit, Shelly? What's the name of the book that you're going to be reading?
So I really wanted to do this book. So my background is nursing, and I worked at a children's hospital for 7 years, and then I did 7 years. And you're going to leave me? And so I really saw the effects of dog bites in kids. And so for me, just educating people a little bit about this, I think it's a wonderful children's book. It's a short children's book. It's to the point. And I think it's just important to keep in mind those little things because 4.7 million dog bites per year. And a lot of it's just because we don't understand what the dog is telling us. And so dog language, if we can educate a little bit more on dog language, I think that helps in so many areas. 51% of those bites are for children, usually ages 5 to 9. And that's the second most frequent cause of visits to the ER for kids.
Wow.
And 80% of dog bites happen at home. So it's just those just an education that we could possibly, that we need from for people and for all of us to live a little bit better. And don't get me wrong, dogs are wonderful and I love them, but I think they also try to talk to us a lot of times and we're just not listening.
Well, and we need to teach children how to be around dogs too. Don't run after them. Don't sit on them. Don't, be calm. And sometimes that's hard for a child to do. So, Shelly, let's hear you reading your book reading for Faith Book Nook.
Hi, my name is Shelly Fisher, and I am a pet therapy manager at Eskenazi Health, and this is my dog, Bose. She is a 10-year-old Cavalier King Charles, and we would like to read a book for you today. It's about how to greet a dog. How many of you know how to greet a dog? I think it's really important because so many times our kids think that they can just run up to a dog and say hello to them. And as children, we want to say hello to them, but dogs don't feel the same way. So hopefully in this book, I will be able to share some ideas that Sophia Yin, who is a veterinarian, she wrote. So let's get started. You ready, Bose? How to Greet a Dog and What to Avoid by Sophia Yin. Number 1, don't approach dogs in cars. Do you see this? So as humans, When we're greeting a person in a car, you wouldn't just reach in like that, right? And pet a dog in a car, right? And they don't like that either. So avoid reaching in or touching a dog in a car. What you could do is stand a safe distance from the car so that you don't make the dog scared or become a threat to them. That's one way to meet a dog if they're in the car. Number 2, approach slowly and calmly when meeting a new dog. It can be scary when someone rushes up to you. So as a child and you're walking down the street and you see somebody running towards you, how does that make you feel? Dogs could feel the same way. So that's why it's very important when we approach a dog, it's slowly and it's with a relaxed walk. Number 3, ask for permission when greeting a dog. Interacting with a dog without permission can feel unwelcomed. So avoid interacting with an unfamiliar dog, especially if they're tied up. So if you see a dog tied up in a yard, it's important not to walk up to them just because you want to say hello to them, because they might not want to say hello to you. What you can do is be polite and ask first if you could pet the dog. Anytime you're walking down a sidewalk or a street and you see a dog, it's always, always important to say, "May I pet your dog?" It's good for the dog, it's good for you, and it's good for the owner. Right, Bose? Right? Avoid staring at unfamiliar dogs or approaching them head on. If someone comes up to you and stares at you in your face and in your eyes right away the first time that you meet them, are you a little scared? It can feel uncomfortable. And it's the same with dogs too. Avoid staring at or approaching a dog head on. The best way to do it is to approach sideways and look at the dog using your peripheral vision instead. So you would stand sideways and just look at the corner of your eye at the dog. Don't loom over a dog when you are first meeting them. Hovering over someone can make them feel scared. I think that's true. I feel scared if someone did that to me. So avoid leaning over dogs too, especially when you move or change positions. What you can do is make sure you stay outside the dog's bubble and present your side to the dog. And you can even sit down a little bit. So the dog is kind of looking at him and he feels confident. Hey, maybe I can pet this person. Was that enough storytelling for you, Bose? Come back over. Avoid reaching into a dog's personal space. Reaching into someone's personal space or coming too close can be rude. If someone came along and touched you in the face right when they first met you, how would that make you feel? So avoid reaching your hand out to a dog, even if it's to let them sniff them, because that can feel kind of threatening to somebody. If someone reaches out their hand to you right when you meet them, they can feel like, what are you trying to do? I'm not sure what you're trying to do. So the best way to do it, and the correct way to do it, you're more likely to make friends if you present your side to the dog and let him approach you at his own rate. So let the dog come to you if they want to say hi to you. As you can see in the picture. Avoid interacting if a dog looks scared. A thoughtful person who senses fear in someone they are approaching stays back rather than getting too close like this. So do the same and avoid petting or reaching for a dog who looks nervous or tense. So sometimes if a dog looks nervous or tense, you can even see their teeth, or their ears are pinned back, or their eyes are really big, or their tail's between their legs. They look scared. The best way, and it's okay to pet a dog if it looks relaxed and it comes up to you and it wants you to pet it. Sometimes what I do, it's called the 3-second rule. If I'm down and the dog comes over and I'll scratch it for a little bit, right on its shoulder, or sometimes on its hip area or its back area, and you stop, then you'll take your hand away and you'll watch to see what it does. Wait 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and see what the dog does. If it moves closer to you, if it looks at you like, hey, why'd you stop? Then go back to scratching that same area and do it again. It's an experiment to see what the dog likes. Touch and pet a dog gently. Some friendly gestures are unwanted or unwelcome by people. So if a person comes up to you and grabs your cheek or pulls your ear or pulls your tail, well, you don't have a tail, so they wouldn't pull your tail. But if they scratched you really hard or rubbed you really hard, that would feel uncomfortable, wouldn't it? And many dogs dislike seemingly friendly or overfamiliar gestures too. Often dogs don't like hugging, kissing, or rough petting. Some dogs love that, and it could probably be your own dog. But for a strange dog that you don't know, the best thing to do is probably not hug it or squeeze it or give it a kiss, because really that's how a lot of our bites happen for our children, is that they are trying to be loving and sweet, but the dog doesn't feel that way. So be mindful of the dog's feelings and pet gently. And a lot of times it's on the shoulder, it's on the back side of them. They really enjoy that. In any case, I hope that you find meeting a dog fun. Bose, wanna come back over? Come here, Bose. Maybe Bose will come say hi. We'll say bye to her. Come here, Bose. Bose, can you say bye? And if you see Bose on the street, she would love to meet you. Have a great day, everyone.
Boy, that was excellent.
Shelly, that was wonderful.
That was excellent.
So informative, so good.
Excellent
I hope all the
advice.
children paid a good, close attention.
Let the dog come up to you. Don't. Each tip was right on. It was just perfect. And we tend to think that all dogs are therapy dogs, and you can just go up to them and pet them. No, they all have different personalities, and you need to stand. And I know kids get excited when they see dogs.
Sure.
So, yeah, and I do understand that, but it's excellent advice. That's a great book. I want to make sure, Pamela, we have the Grateful Rescue fans sent in photos of their therapy dog. So,
Oh, yeah.
well, take a look at that. Oh, those are great. I just want to make sure, Pamela, you wanted to say something too about the weight loss. Not yours, but for the dog. You've got this thing going on for the weight loss for Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary. And how is Faith doing on her? On her journey? How?
Faith has lost 2.5 pounds in a little over a week. She's doing great. I'm so proud of her. I knew she was losing because her harness has become looser. But, and boy, I tell you, today on our walk, she had the energy. Her thrust was faster. She was more excited. She's really coming along.
That's great.
So,
Well, especially
yay,
during the
Faye.
pandemic. I mean, we show our love. We're with them. They're home with us. So here's a treat. I'll have a treat, and you have a treat.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. What's
Yeah.
what's Bo's favorite treat, Shelly?
Well, she'll twirl for me sometimes for a treat. I don't think she's gonna do it right now. She likes duck is her favorite. Yeah, she likes any type of duck treat.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Nice.
Oh, Jason's back in. That means we're running out of time. Pamela, I think you want to tell us about who will be reading next week.
This is a good one.
Oh, yes.
It's a
For our
good
Halloween reading, we have Sammy Terry. He's going to be reading for us next week. So that'll be exciting. I think the book's called It's Halloween Little Monster. And it's a very light story for youngins. But we are honored to have Sammy Terry joining us next week. So everybody gather around.
That's great. Well, there went Bo's. I guess that's Bo's critique.
She gets a little warm. She gets a little hot. So she's like, I'll move on now, Mom. See you later.
Shelly, I think you're wonderful. You know that I love Eskenazi and all the things that you do to help folks with your therapy dogs. And hopefully we'll get back to doing that again and also come out and see your wonderful garden too.
Yes,
so
I love
we've got
that.
a lot to do in the future. Shelly, you're wonderful. And Pamela,
Thanks,
I love
guys.
you.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Oh, I love you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Can't wait.
Thank
to
you,
see
Shelly,
again.
Patty, and Pamela. And let's wave bye. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.